Hello, YouTube viewers. Um, I wanted to talk about gang stalking on this video. I put a couple videos out. I don't know if you've seen them or not, but they both pertain to gang stalking experience that I've had that has just literally destroyed my life in so many ways. These people will go to, you know, they have no limits in terms of what they'll do to you. The worst things you can think of: physical, sexual, disgusting individuals, and using this system that they have. It's kind of like it's similar to a neurophone system. It works through the cell networks and the cell towers. For what they've told me over the system, they keep trying to say they're trying to make me into a Freemason, whatever that means. But sounds retarded to me because they've given me so many scenarios that have played out all the way to the end. I've worked towards a certain goal they've said in order to get them to stop this, and then it just dead ends as a lie, and then ha ha ha, more devastation to your brain, right? But they've hurt me like in ways physically that blow a lot of people's minds. A lot of people think that the gang stalkers don't actually hurt you or don't kill you. Well, they've done things to me like stop my breathing. They had me cut myself really bad that I needed stitches. And everything, the fact that they combine the voice to skull or the silent sound technology with hypnosis, that being the combination, it's a like literal a form of mind control, because with hypnosis you can control the human brain completely, and when you don't know you're getting it through subliminal message, you don't even know it's you, and that's what hypnosis is. You actually think the hypnotist is you, and it's really bizarre experience. Those that want to know more about gang stalking and how the voices how they transpire, how that kind of situation works and what it feels like, I highly recommend that you go and get a professional to hypnotize you, and then ask the hypnotist to make you experience these types of sensations, because in order to understand what the TIs are going through, the targeted individuals, you need to have a working understanding of hypnosis. It'll give you a huge insight into exactly what the person's experiencing. And basically anything your brain can think of or has remembered can be recreated with hypnosis. And it even goes as far as to incorporate your imagination into it. So you may have not experienced pain that bad, but if you can imagine pain far worse in your life, they can make that happen too, which is pretty scary. They burnt me like I've been burnt on my finger by a match, and they made the burn hurt way more than it should have. And they've intensified smells, foul smells way more than they actually would bother you. They call it, that's your feet or something like that, intensified. Meanwhile, you don't even have your shoes off, or just something. You're eating your cornflakes and it tastes like gasoline all of a sudden. Anyway, this is the kind of stuff they can do with hypnosis. But long story short, CSIS Canada, total suspects. They interviewed my brother a few years back, and they said they were very concerned about me. They had a bunch of questions to ask him. And now my brother's memory is getting all rusty and he can't really remember what they were talking about. I think they've simply just hypnotized him. Thank God my other sister remembers what was said, in terms of who visited him, because I was surprised that he could still remember that CSIS was the people that visited him. We didn't even know what CSIS was. We had to look it up on the internet. Found out it was Canada's signal intelligence, or Canada's security intelligence service, and we're really surprised. Like, wow, what the hell? This is really strange. And long story short, while I was being hypnotized, downtown Vancouver. I'm walking near a popular intersection, Terminal and Main, by a large bus depot called Central Pacific, and well-known Greyhound area, and right by the Science World there. And I'm in front of this bus station, and I hear this, "Hamish, look to your right." I look to my right. There's a big black Suburban, and as I see this, there's a woman behind the wheel of kind of like business attire on. And then as I approach the front of the vehicle, there's a guy in a full black suit, white collar, ear thing going up into his ear. And then there's another guy on the other side of the vehicle. And he reaches, he steps toward me like he's going to grab me. And I take off, and I run into the bus station, and I actually go into the washroom and go into a stall. And I shut the stall, and I'm like, what the hell? What are they going to do to me, right? And basically I waited in there for about 10 minutes, and they didn't come into the washroom or anything. So I went back out. I kind of peeked around the corner, and they were standing right outside the bathroom talking to one another, the two guys in the suit. And I was just like, oh my God. And what I hear over the system, the voice to skull system. They say, "Now this is who you're screwing with. Do you really want to F with us?" And I'm like, "Screwing with you? How? What did I do? I don't even know what I've done. I'm totally innocent. I have no enemies. Like, what the hell do they want from me, right?" And they just keep saying that I've worried somebody in government that has power, and they simply want me gone. So, but that's a scary statement when you don't know what you've done and you don't know who's out to get you. But, you know, the way they're doing this is disgusting. The stuff they've shown me, leading me around endless. I found locks, combination locks that they've led me to, and I've opened the combination lock. It was a three roller type combination, so you had to roll the numbers, and it was a brand new lock. And when I picked it up in this park, this was a few months before this incident I just described happened. I pick up this lock, and I roll the numbers. 230 is what I had in my head for some reason. And as I do that, the lock opens. So I'm just like, what the hell, right? Like, obviously they led me to another weird freaking thing, right? And I turn the lock on its side, and the 2 is an N, the 3 is a W, and the 0 is an O. 230 NWO, New World Order. You know, it scared me at first, and I was like really surprised, but I was just like, F you, what the hell? Because they've hurt me for so long, I curse at them a lot, right? And, you know, it's a bad habit I've kind of picked up because they're constantly badgering me with this system, and, you know, it probably doesn't look too good, constantly thinking out loud, if you will, when people say, what was that? Oh, I'm just thinking out loud, don't mind me. But nonetheless, you know, this is the kind of stuff, like, what are the chances, you know, 10 million to 1 that I would find a lock, know the combination, and then turn it on its side and it says something like that. So the lock was brand new, but it was pretty cheap. It was like a plastic kind of deal, and still sturdy, like it was clearly locked. And it's just a way to screw with my head and, you know, let me know who's out to get me. They've been leading me around finding all these coins, this big coin thing. I have about 12 of them. Some of the coins have tooling on them and solder marks on them. And some of these coins that I found in different locations within the Lower Mainland actually have the exact same tooling marks on them in the exact same spot on the coin. One of them is, I believe, from Asia, one of the coins that has the tooling marks on it, and another one is a Canadian nickel. The weird thing is I got the one from Asia a few months back, about a month and a half ago, and I found the one that was the nickel underneath a tree down on the beach, at the base of a tree in the sand. And this one had the exact same solder marks on it, three little dollops of solder in a line at the edge of the coin. But they were rusted, like it looked like it had been there for quite a while. They could have chemically rusted it, but I'm just guessing that it's been there for a while, a lot longer than a month and a half. So it's almost like they're saying this has been done before. And when I had found it, they had actually said, they said something, the woman said something like, this has been something we've done for a long time tradition or something like that. And like basically telling me that we've done this to other people for a long time. And that's why we're so good at it. And it's just like, what the hell? Like, what the hell do these freaks want? I don't know what the hell to think of them, but it's just like, it's gotta frickin' stop. I can't go to the police. I mean, I've tried, but they look at me like, what the hell are you talking about? And then they start displaying symptoms of being hypnotized. So at that point, I'm done, because they could literally turn the law enforcement against me. And they've had me beaten up by strangers and stuff like that, and clearly let me know it was them. So I've kind of shied away from getting too carried away with trying to, but it's basically been 3 years now, and it's not stopping. It's getting worse in some aspects. And I think they're trying to lead me to a point that I get so stressed out I have to take a natural heart attack, because they're keeping my mind in a state of like intense stress for a long time. And you develop strain in the body over a long period of time when your brain is maxed out in a state of fearing for your life. It's just ridiculous. And they've got me to spend huge amounts of money. I've had money saved up for a while, and they've been making me dip into it and spend it on really stupid stuff. And it's just like they basically want to put me in a position of being in rock bottom. So I'm thinking, they want to remove all the pleasure out of my life, so it ruins the quality of your life. And who knows, maybe the guy will kill himself for all they're thinking. But in no way whatsoever have I ever thought that or wanted to do that. I will not go down like that. If these guys, if they're wanting me to do that, well, they're going to have to kill me, because there's no freaking way in hell that I'm going to be offing myself for any reason. But yeah, it's hard to say what these freaks are thinking, because they're not normal people. But I just wanted to get that out, because things aren't looking so good for me with what they've been doing, and the things they've been saying is basically pretty much flat out, I'm going to be killed. So I would just like the YouTube viewers to give me any help or direct me any way you can to somebody might be able to help. I've tried to get signal jammers to actually stop the RF signal that's coming in that's doing this to my brain. This signal can be broken with certain signal jammers that can knock out cell phone signals and Wi-Fi signals and stuff like that. But they've been made illegal in Canada just recently, conveniently. So, I'm having a hard time acquiring one. There was a person out in Surrey that I was going to see, and when we got there, the guy suddenly didn't have any interest in talking to us or doing any type of business with